Welcome to the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
I'm Tim.
We didn't preface that, but that is the order I've got on my screen, so I'll run with that for the closing as well. So, professional, as always, from us here at the show. Here we are with another episode. We'll go through what we're going through in a moment. Details are in the description of this. Whether you're watching or listening, please check it out and follow all of our social media channels to keep up to date with all the silly stuff we do in general. Get involved in polling and all the other things we do too. If you'd be so kind, check out our Patreon page as well. Any help you can give us via that would be greatly appreciated. And while we're speaking of that sort of stuff, a big, wonderful thank you to our amazing sponsors in Squidding, Screenbidding, Alt, Colt, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, as well as ours, are in the description of this, so please find them and just give them a little bit of a follow just to show them some love for the support they give us here at THRS. We're back into it. We've already filmed one episode as we do this, which will be coming out toward the end of the month, and that's our THRS Torture for 2021. We've been there, done that. So things are a little bit sort of timeline-wise a bit wacky, but we are doing this after that, even though this will air before that in the roundabout way with the online world of doing things. So tonight we're back into just regular format stuff for this week. We'll be reviewing the latest from Kaiser and the Machines of Creation, Sun Traitors, and Bloody Hammers. And we'll have a hot topic in just a second as well. But before we do that, how's everyone going? Dave, it's only been a few days, or been a few days for both of you, but how have you been the last few days, Dave?
Sober.
Good answer. Good answer. Yeah.
And when people see the torture episode, it'll make sense.
Or more importantly, now they can go and see the live stream we did.
The live stream. Yeah. Watch it in real time.
You can see you progressively getting worse and then trying to stay awake.
Yeah, I'm probably like bloody end. I was.
We had some people stay with us for a long time doing that, though. Anyway, yeah.
I know. There's some good comments on there too, so that was fun. We'll do it again one night.
We will do more of that, I think. This
people hit us up with topics that we can randomly talk about all night. That'd be cool.
That's a good idea too, yeah.
But yeah, been good. Been working, been playing with the kids. Just really sure what to do with myself these days. It's still getting back into normality. Yeah. Chugging along. It's all good.
Cool. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, just, plugging along, taking it day by day.
Yeah.
Slowly getting back to normal. See how it goes.
That's the thing at the moment, isn't it? Just sort of getting back to routine now that a year is kicking off again.
Yeah, yourself?
Yeah, good. Like I was saying, like the new year kind of thing, because Jodie's now just gone back to work full time for the first time since lockdown. So talking about April, March last year, that she is finally back at full-time work. So that whole routine for us now is sort of kicking over again. So, okay, now Jodie's working full-time. I'm picking up all the work all the work I can handle at the moment, as well as doing all of this. So our routine is well and truly back to where it was. And you forget how tiring things can be.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. So I was like, oh, fuck, that's right. That's what that's like. So, the lockdown was nice in that regard, but at the same time, the trade-off is now we can see whoever we want, whatever we want. So I'm happy with the trade-off as far as I'm concerned. So we are planning a punk special next. I think that'll be the next time I actually get together and film something on the set, which would be actually fucking finally get around to doing that for the first time in about 8 months by the time that happens, I reckon. Maybe even longer, 9 months.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, been a while. So we'll do something soon, and we should move on while we try and keep Tim awake. All right. We listed off the reviews. We'll get to those in just a second. We have a hot topic to go to first, and that is because this is the first regular episode for 2021. Like we do it every year, we just go, okay, what releases that we know or think are coming up? It's sort of even hypothetical. What are we looking forward to getting our ears around this year coming up in 2021? So, Dave, over to you first on this.
Cool. I got a bit of a list, and the one I've been looking forward to it should have been out last year, but the world went to shit. Halloween.
Yep.
New album from the 7-piece Halloween. Kiski, Kai.
Yep.
All back. This is going to be amazing. And they've teased there's going to be a single released in a couple of months, and then the album should be out a little bit after that. But yeah, it's going to be amazing, I hope. It could be the biggest disappointment of the year, but my hopes are pretty high, and I reckon it should be cool.
Well, they have released something already, haven't they?
No, they teased that there was a single coming. That was the announcement late last year.
But even the live performance is enough to go on.
Yeah, it was a live performance.
Yeah.
So that was pretty damn cool to see all of them together. But yeah, new music from them, that's going to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that shocked me a couple of weeks ago, wasn't expecting this band to ever do another release, and that's a Liquid Tension Experiment.
Okay, yeah.
If I can't have Mike Portnoy back in Dream Theater, he's going to record something with John Petrucci and Jordan Rudess, and Tony Levin is on bass. So it's close to Dream Theater as you're going to get.
Cool.
So happy with that. And of course, it might happen, it might not. Guns N' Roses, fingers crossed. Either way, we'll have new music from Slash because he's doing something with Miles Kennedy and the Conspiracies. So we have some Slash stuff. Anthrax.
And he's got a solo coming as well.
Yeah, Miles Kennedy does too. Yeah, Anthrax are expected to have a new album. And if they continue on the winning track they've been on with the last couple of albums, that should be pretty amazing too.
Yep.
And keeping it fresh, Megadeth, they got something coming.
Yep.
Alice Cooper has a new one.
Bunch of covers, I think it is.
Half covers, half new stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
right.
So some original stuff on there as well. Rob Zombie has a new album coming up very soon, I think in the next couple of months.
That's top of my list.
Yeah, they're always interesting to see what he comes up with. Not sure if Reckless Love have a new album coming out. They're well overdue for one. They had a new single out a couple of months ago now, but yeah, they should be definitely ready for a new album.
Yep.
Blind Guardian, once again, I'm not sure if they got an album coming, but it was expected. The last project they did was kind of a symphonic thing with no guitar. Okay. And they said a full band thing will be coming soon afterwards. So
that was an interesting release, though.
That really was. It was all composed by the singer and the guitarist, but there was no guitar in it, but it was still pretty bloody heavy.
Wow.
Ricky Warwick, if you know him, he's the singer of Black Star Riders and the old band The Almighty. He's got a solo album coming. And this one surprised the hell out of me. I don't know if it'll happen, but Wasp apparently have a new album coming.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty bloody good. So this year's going to be pretty exciting.
Yep. Cool. Tim, what have you come up with?
So apparently we're getting the follow-up to a Sown album that we did last.
Yes, that's coming next week.
That's coming up soon, relatively soon. So I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe even Friday. I'll have to double check that.
Yeah. So that's late last time, so let's hope we can do it again. As Dave mentioned, Anthrax, been keen on that. Apparently delayed as well, so from last year. So hopefully that'll be good. Rob Zombie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me personally, some other ones I'm looking forward to is, again, very soon we get the new album from Architects.
Yep.
Also, one of my favourite bands growing up, the Amenta, band from Sydney, who are doing like a heavy industrial thing.
Cool.
There's a goth rock band from Portugal called Moonspell, who again I really like, who are doing a new album out as well. I Hate God have a new album out. Corporate Klani, who are, if you like Lagerstein, but want to not understand the lyrics even more. And again, there's a great Hungarian groove metal band I used to like way back in the day who I just found out doing a new album called Ectomorph.
Okay.
So they are a really good band, and I'm keen to see what they're up to. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, Rob Zombie, top of my list. Always will be generally when he releases an album. Evanescence have a new album coming out. I'm curious. Okay. I'm very curious as where that's going to go. But also the Pretty Reckless is coming out in a couple of weeks. From the singles I've heard, I'm actually very interested in that one as well. Halloween, Dave mentioned, very keen on that, especially after doing the special last year. That will be cool. We'll do that mini thing. We'll go through those couple of other albums that we didn't do last.
Yeah, live albums. That'd be cool.
Yeah, there's a few bits and pieces there to catch up on. But Mammoth, WVH, so Wolfgang Van Halen's album is coming out soon, hopefully. So that's coming this year for sure. I'm looking forward to that one. Ones that I'm not as certain of sort of dates and times and that, but Alien Weaponry apparently looking to release something new this year as well, which I think we'll all be very happy about that one. Anthrax well, Rammstein are in the studio currently. So unexpectedly, I didn't think they'd be back in there so soon, but with the pandemic, they decided to lock themselves away and go again. Dee Snider is apparently in the studio as well. So that'll be cool.
Cool.
Ghosts are rumored to have something in the works as well as Godsmack, and The Who too.
The Who?
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like they've got
The Who or The Who?
No, the Mongolian one. So
nice.
the one we enjoyed last time around. And also Tremonti is rumoured to have something in the works too, which would be very, very cool. So Wayne, if you're watching this one, I'm sure that'll be one for your little squirt back there. And Dave mentioned it, Wasp is another one. But moving on to more of the ones we've discovered through the show or locally. Sowen, which Tim mentioned, that went off. The last album was 2018, I think it was, and we love that. And that's coming out, I think, in a couple of days as we film this. So I'm very keen on that. But just some local artists that I know are doing something. Cicada Stone, they've got the album coming out soon. I've heard it. It's fucking fantastic. I'm looking forward to it actually dropping and they can finally get that ball rolling for themselves. But also Carly Jewell's got some new music coming already too, which would be, I'm keen to hear more of that as well. So there's a bit there to go through. So if you're out there watching or listening to this, make sure you let us know in the comments wherever you're finding this one, or get on our socials and let us know what you're looking forward to in 2021. And if there's anything in particular you're angry that we missed. So this is always something that we've missed. So let us know what we've missed in this one too. Now we need to move on to reviews. And this is where I start playing around with things. I need to send people to the naughty corner back and forth, don't I?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Tim, I believe you're in the naughty corner first, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm out for the first one.
All right, so I'm going to put you in the waiting rooms while we do Kaiser and the Machines of Creation, Dave. So, Tim, we'll be getting back to you in just a few minutes.
All right, I'll see you later.
See ya. All right, so now it's Dave and myself, and we're going to be talking about just the two of us, and we're going to be talking about an Adelaide band called Kaiser and the Machines of Creation with their new album, which was released late last year, Flowers and Lies. So 9 tracks for 46 minutes, the debut album from this incarnation. It's about the third incarnation of this band. They released it December 2020 independently, self-produced by Paul Kaiser in his home studio. There are a few videos available from this band as well, and I believe there is an album released a few years ago under a different sort of lineup, like whatever they were doing there. So different lineup, different stuff. So this is the newest incarnation, and they've got an album to go with it. And they worked on this one for quite a while. I think a couple of years they spent working on this one. So let's see what you think. Dave, how did you go with this one?
Yeah, this sounds really good for a self-produced album. They did a really good job, I think. It's very different. I can't think of any band to really compare it to. It's a bit proggy in parts. There's some light and shade moments. It's a bit arty, but being arty, but not being too flashy. And it's not music for musicians. It's not overly pedantic and precocious to be arty, but it's just something fresh and original, which I didn't really get it the first time. It's not really the thing I go to listen to, but listen to it a couple of times, I started to really get into it. It's a bit of a grower, but
where the more you sit with this one, it's going to get under your skin. Yeah, it's
very rewarding if you put the time in, especially because there is no band that I know of that does what this band's doing. You can't really compare it to anything. Which
put me in like the Tea Party with more of a prog rock twist and maybe a touch of Bowie in there, or a touch of Mike Patton too.
I did kind of get a bit of a later day Bowie vibe from the late 90s, early 2000s. I thought I might have been tripping though, but I'm glad you got that. So that was cool. Yeah. Also, from his vocals, the singer reminded me a little bit of Jeff Tate.
I got that, but also a bit of Bruce Dickinson in delivery too. That higher,
not like an operatic wail or anything, but just in his tone and his way of delivery. His vocals work really well with the guitars. They balance really well. It's like kind of, if you go back to the old Boston song, More Than a Feeling, when the vocal stops and the guitar takes over, they kind of just blend perfectly. I thought that was really well done.
Kansas did as well, really well. Yeah.
So it's not everyone can do it, and they pulled this off really well. It's an interesting listen, especially if you want something different. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Institute and We'll Climb the Mountain were my standouts.
Okay, I think we crossed over on Institute there. Yeah, we did, and We'll Climb the Mountain as well. So those are my two. Yeah, like I was saying, it is different, isn't it? This isn't your average, hard rock record. It's not purely prog. It's not purely metal. It's got a bit of everything, sort of this wonderful melting pot going on, which is actually refreshing to listen to. It does take a spin or two to get your head around it fully, because it's not one of those ones that's going to be you just put it on it and you're going to go. You need to spend a bit of time with it. But once you do, it's really rewarding, I think. Like I was saying, it put me on a bit of the Tea Party with, Mike Patton, Bowie, proggy sort of stuff in there. There's a few bits and pieces, but they don't sound exactly like any of that. It's just like they're the closest reference points that I have in my musical collection, so to speak. I think to really appreciate this, don't listen to this through your shitty headphones, actually put it on a good setup. It really does need that. Otherwise, it might be a bit thin. You won't really appreciate the full depth of what's going on in the production, because for a self-produced record, this is actually really well done. I thought the guitar lead work was fantastic. That really added to the songs, like with what you were saying about the vocals and the guitar trade parts. But the lead, when it flashed, wasn't overdone. It was just enough to really bring spark and life to things.
Icing on the cake.
Sorry?
The icing on the cake.
It was exactly that, yeah. I like the lyrics too. The lyrics and the composition went hand in hand to really tell some very interesting stories. There's a bit to unpack in the lyrics too. It's not just, dumb fun, cop an egg, go to the pub kind of rock at all. It's got a bit more thought going on, and there's a lot to take in. So it's one of those ones that the deep listen will really reward you in that regard. And this has a bit of everything. It's got the hooks in there too, the storytelling, but it's also got, like, musically, piano keys, synth, bongos, acoustic guitars, chimes, heavy riffs, pounding drums and bass, along with that lead work I was mentioning before. It all really does cover a lot of different ground, but it's all done incredibly well. Like I said, the mix was good on this. I actually really enjoyed it, but it had to be done through the proper setup. Like I said, otherwise it might be a bit thin, but the panning and the layering, because there's a lot more going on than you think too. Once you get really into this list, and there's a fair bit going on in there. And once you can really sit back and take that in, I thought that was really well done. The attention to detail was good. It was just the right amount of grit, but also just the right amount of polish. It didn't go too far one way or the other. It kept it so it was intense and got your attention, but at the same time, it wasn't overdone. It kept that garagey kind of vibe in just the right amount as well for mine. I don't know, it's a bit different. I enjoyed it once I settled into it. It did take a couple of spins, but once you give it you listen and it clicks for you, in for a really cool ride, I reckon. So it's worth persisting if it doesn't get you on the first pass. 8 out of 10 from me. Institute will climb the mountain like you did, but also picked It's Okay to Wake Up on that one too. So there's a bit there. Cool. I'm glad I wasn't, because it's one of those ones you're never quite sure how it's going to go, and you do something a little bit different to normal. So I'm glad it wasn't just me that enjoyed it too, which is cool. So now I get to play swapping places, don't I?
Yep, I'm in the naughty corner.
I'm going to bring Tim back in. Here's Tim. Here we go. So, Tim, you get to see.
Hey, Tim.
Long to Dave for a moment.
Hi, Tim.
See ya.
Hot tag.
Grandpa Simpson. Whoop.
All right. So now, hopefully you weren't too bored there waiting with the hold music.
All good.
All good. All right. So now you and I are going to be moving on to Sun Traitors with the EP Dark Matter. It's 5 tracks for 90 minutes, the debut EP from the Melbourne band, released November 2020 via Headstone Records, which I believe is label mates with you, if I'm correct, on Eat the Damn Orange.
Yes, that is correct.
Cool. Produced by Dave Warner, same as you, I believe, too.
Same as the new Orange album.
Yeah, cool. This one comes after some singles, and Brendan mentioned these guys in the top 10s of 2020 as well. So we figured we'd get around to doing it. Brendan wasn't able to join us for this one, but we do have you, and I'm pretty sure you'll have some nice things to say, unless I'm way off the mark. Over to you.
Oh, no, yeah. I got a lot of time for these guys.
So what do you think of it?
Look, I think this is proof that you can do Australian style hard rock in 2021 and have it sound fresh and new. Yeah,
that's
because they are, there's just one foot firmly in that, very Australian, for lack of a better term, pub rock style.
Yeah.
But there is also something very modern about it in terms of, the way it's recorded, the way it swings, the way it builds up. Even like a lot of the style of the riffing and the guitar tone is very much in that sort of modern hard rock sound.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, that sort of style and the way they play is very rooted in that older style, and it's a really wonderful meshing of the two things together. Very much, very much guitar and drums based as well.
Yes.
That really drives forward, and the vocals are more or less there to. They're not going to be soaring away, but they're more or less there to portray a little bit of storytelling and a little bit of melody. But most of the
something to sing along to in the pub.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Most of the musical chops are in the guitars and the drums, and it all blends and meshes together very well. I think Also, as an EP goes, it's very well put together because there's so many ways to approach doing an EP, and I think these guys. And I mean, it's only 5 tracks, but I think it only needed to be 5 tracks to be a proper showcase of what they're about. I think you can listen to this and have a pretty good idea of what they're going to do.
And it flowed well too. Like they put the softest, just the right moment on there.
Exactly. So, I mean, all in all, I've got no complaints about this very well. I think In Your Name is my highlight.
Cool.
I actually think, again, to flog the dead horse, there was radio stations playing and stuff. It'd be on there. So, if you're a fan of the hard rock show, you like just hard rock in general, again, check it out because you'll probably like it. Yeah, 8 out of 10. I think it's a really good EP.
Yeah. Now, we played a few clips of theirs on the show, and they've always seemed to go okay. So this was actually, one of those ones we missed out on last year because just time. If there's eventually a deadline, it's like, okay, that's, it's cut-off point. But we do have a little bit of catch-up time in sort of January through to like the first couple of weeks of Feb to sort of get a few things out of the way that we didn't get done. And there's one of those ones I was keen to check out. It's like that up-tempo gritty rock that you were talking about. There's some good hooks in there, but the riffs are the really infectious part of this. That riff and the rhythm side of it is what really does drive this, like you were saying. It's all about the energy. It's a short, sharp, sort of punchy kind of listen. But I like the mix on this one. I thought the mix is really cool. They rounded it off just enough but kept the grit in there too, which was really nice to hear it done that way. They just took the burrs out of it. Just took the burrs off. And
it's a very live feel, but like a very just polished enough.
Well, this is a band I'd like to see live on the back of the EP because you get the impression that this is what they sound like. There's no...
Yeah, well, they to be fair, they do.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
I don't mind an album that gives you an honest representation, or an EP in this case. I don't mind an album that gives you an honest representation. That's a good thing as well.
Especially when you can play.
Well, that's it, and they can. They're a 4-piece or a 3-piece?
3-piece.
Yeah, fucking big sound for a 3-piece. So
yeah,
they've got it. I haven't seen these guys live, but I reckon these guys playing with Fight the Sun would be a really cool gig.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
That'd be a really cool gig.
I better double check the 3-piece thing though.
Well, you did that. I'm pretty sure it is a 3-piece, but wasn't 100%. So I went 4-piece at first. I thought the tones worked well. They didn't lose the feel on this one. Sonically, it soldered together really nicely, and it's got that spoken, semi-spoken sort of style in the lyrics and the vocals, which works well with this sort of stuff too. It's that sort of stuff that with the gang vocals that are, going to get the crowd going. But at the same time, there was some really nice harmony work on this, which was really well done and caught me by surprise.
Just at the right time too.
Yeah, exactly.
Just when they needed it.
Yeah, it was all used really, really well in that regard. It's catchy enough to get stuck in your head, but it also will really thrive in the pub setting, which is what this one wants to do. And it's a sneaky little EP that, is very easy to repeat spin. I could listen to this comfortably. It flew by time, and there was just enough tempo shifts, and even on repeat spins, the gear change is done just the right way. No huge departures, but just enough sort of dynamics there to sort of make it not get stale, which is very, very, it's well done and hard to do, especially when you repeat spin like we do here. It's all about riffs and rhythm on this one, but it's a really good hard rock EP that gets the juices flowing for mine. Did you double check? Is it a 3-piece?
Nope.
Are you there? Right? Okay, you're back.
Oh, sorry, you just froze for a second.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just asking if it was a 3-piece or...
Yeah, 3-piece.
Okay, cool. So that was confirmed. All right, cool. We got that in the end. Look, I think this is very, very cool. Very well done. Nothing groundbreaking, but it doesn't need to be. Like you said at the very start, you can do the old stuff and still make it sound very fresh, and there's still plenty of room for that to happen today as far as I'm concerned. And I like how I've done a few videos for this too. Very, very smart in that regard. 8 out of 10 from me as well. I picked Kaleidoscope Blues and Mistrust as my standouts. Cool. So now... we bring Dave back in. As the merry-go-round goes on, this is going to play havoc with me in post-production when I start adding in the back because it's all moved around as we go along. But anyway, as we go through the episode, now it is time for the main event of the evening. And as January tends to be, it's a bit of a slower month, but we did find one that we think is worthy of being a main event of the evening. This is Bloody Hammers with their latest Songs of Unspeakable Terror. 11 tracks for 32 minutes, the sixth studio album from the American band, released January 2021 via Napalm Records, self-produced by Anders Manga with Devalia, his wife. This one comes right on the heels of an EP, but this came out because of COVID. They had time to burn, and he wanted to do write something new to keep his sanity intact. So this one was apparently inspired by a lot of the old school New York kind of bands as well. Tim, how about we go with you first? What did you make of Bloody Hammers?
You can hear that old school New York band right in this. Very much old school goth rock. And it works really well. First thing that I noticed was his voice.
Yep.
He's got this is going to sound weird, but for me, he sound like, between his tone and his phrasing, he sounded like a weird, like, love child of James Hetfield and Glenn Danzig.
Actually, I get that.
And again, for whatever reason, over that sort of heavy, very bass-heavy palm muting style, it just worked absolutely perfectly. And the way it sort of everything sat around his voice without getting too bright and shimmery, it stuck true to that style, and I thought it worked really well. Album flowed from start to finish. There wasn't really any flat spots for me either, so I actually really enjoyed this. This came out of nowhere. I had no idea who this band was, honestly, and I gave it a listen, and I honestly really dug it. So this is a really good listen for me. If you're into that sort of goth rock kind of, it's weird saying that, but again, it's that kind of older, almost like a punkier style. But if you're into that sort of thing, then you should definitely check it out because it's a fantastic listen. It flew by. Hands of the Ripper and the one who owns the ones who own the dark were my highlights, an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Cool.
So, Dave, you were saying in the chat that there was one release that was really, really cool this week. I'm tipping this is the one for you.
Oh, yeah. Just the album title alone, Songs of Unspeakable Terror, just speaks right to me. This is a bit like Wednesday 13, but without the gory necrophilia and without the motherfuckers. This I can play in front of my kids, obviously, Wednesday 13, most of it you can't. But there's still plenty of horror-inspired themes and violence, but it's more towards the Addams Family, monsters, Happy Halloween. Well, they play it tongue-in-cheek. It's not really played for laughs, but they're not taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
They're drawing a lot from early Hammer horror, so if you're an old-school horror fan, or a horror fan in general, you're going to enjoy this. It's great fun. The songs are fun. The singer has a damn good voice. Drums are cool. I think it's his wife's on bass, or...
Yeah, I believe she has the other bits and pieces, Yeah,
but it's a cool blend of the two. Yeah. Riffs are cool. They drive the songs. The horror is all horror based, but a bit of the early straight up punk. Yeah, so that was cool. They got 5 albums before this, so I got a lot of catching up to do.
Apparently, this one's a little bit different to the rest of their catalog. They were saying, like to the point where they almost thought of releasing this as a side project, not under the actual Bloody Hammers name, but it looked like. But the label said, no, release it under your name. It's good. So there you go.
Okay, cool. It'll be interesting to see how different it is. But I gave this 8.5 out of 10, like Tim. 5. Fuck. It's more than 5. 8.5 out of 10. And Night to Dismember, Not of This Earth, Waking the Dead, Night of the Witch, Lucifer's Light, Nice Spin on Your Corpse. Some titles are amazing.
Good title, that.
Yeah, good title, that one. That was very, very cool. I think we're all in the same boat. Hadn't really paid a lot of... I'd heard the name kicking around, but never checked out any of their stuff until this record came along. Because when I was going through it, the way I determined what would be the main event for this one and for our deep cuts on the weekend, I just found ones that seemed to have a few releases, a bit of a profile going on, weren't just 1,000 likes on Facebook, and found some bigger ones, and then go through who had the most sort of listens on Spotify, monthly listeners, and these guys have like 100,000 listeners a month on Spotify. So it's like, okay, cool, away you go. Like I said, I heard the name, but never dabbled, and here we go. This is very, very cool. Gritty sort of horror punk. I think it's, it's kind of like the Misfits, whatever else meets a bit of Volbeat or Clutch for mine. That Volbeat kind of Clutch, that feel with it being much more gritty and horror based than that. So, maybe those guys doing a duet with someone like Wednesday 13 would be kind of the vibe you're looking for.
Yeah, you could tour.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Than Wednesday 13.
Yeah, that'd be a good show. I think the mix suits this style really well. It's got that really gritty sort of edge to it, but it's a bit deadened off with the guitar sort of up along with the vocal, and then the rest sort of just back a little bit on this one. But I thought there were some good hooks in this, surprisingly good hooks. I didn't, when you do the reading on it, you're thinking, okay, it's me, that sort of horror, punky kind of stuff. But for that description, that would really not let you think about the hooks that are in this one. They're really catchy, really well done. You look at the song titles and you hear the chorus playing through your mind pretty bloody quickly. So the songs are very well written, get stuck in your head. The rhythm and use of melody was very, very cool. Along with the use of swing, I really loved when this thing swang into a groove, and they really did nail that aspect down really well. I think lyrically is where the fun is out of this one. Like Dave was saying, something, more the fun, old school horror kind of thing. Addams Family, that sort of stuff is in there. There's a bit of tongue in cheek about it. But it's very, very well done overall. And the self-production kind of vibe, doing it all yourself, it feels a bit like that, but in a good way, not in a bad way. So between the lyrics, the performances, the production, it feels like they've done it themselves. But it's one of those ones where listening to this makes me feel like self-production is improving over the years. And so artists in general are getting better at being multitaskers. And so that's where it's all going to eventually go, I think. And so this shows you that it's working for that favor kind of thing. There was a couple of little Foley and sound grab moments on this. Nothing like what you get with a Wednesday 13 or a Rob Zombie record in particular. But there was just enough there to break it up a bit. And it's only a half-hour listen. It flies by. It's so easy to take in and repeat spin as well. And because the gear changes were just enough to keep it interesting, that half hour is just bang gone. You can go back. I was able to go back and listen to this one over and over again without even thinking about it. It was just so easy to take in. It's a lot of fun. The energy is good. The hooks are good. Nothing wrong with this at all. It's a very, very good album. And I, like everyone else, I think I'm going to be going checking out, I want to see just how different this is, but at the same time, with the talent that's been displayed on this one, I think I'll be fine. I don't think I'm going to dislike any of the previous stuff. I'm just curious now. So I do want to go and check out more of Bloody Hammers on the back of this. So well done to that. If you like anything that's horror themed at all, this is one for you. Go and check it out. 8.5 out of 10 from me too. A Night to Dismember, the opening track, that was cool. We Are the Damned and Lucifer's Light, because that was the sort of softer track on the record that got my attention a bit as well. Those are my standouts on this one. But that's it. We are trying to keep to a formula where we do sort of 3 reviews and do a hot topic, and then we sort of get out of the way. And because people are doing musical chairs today, it's sort of flown by a bit quicker than we normally do. It's just over half an hour as we sit here and do this one now. So we've smashed this one out of the park. Probably the quickest one we've done anything for a while.
Quickest one ever, except for a clip show.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But we're trying to make it so that, we can do a few reviews on these ones. And then if we do have something that comes up that we just want to jump online randomly and either do live or whatever else, we've got a bit more time for that sort of stuff, instead of burying all our time in these episodes as they stand. So hopefully more to come in that sort of vibe online along with these episodes too.
Well, it's nice to do things, up to date as well.
Well, that's it. Try and keep fresh. It's more fun. You're more in tune with what's going on as well. Like we have the monthly specials that take us back through time, and then we can do these ones to try and keep up as relevant as we possibly can with everything going on as well. It's nice. It's refreshing in that regard. And it means you're never bored too. Not that we ever get bored.
Yeah.
A million things going on, but yeah.
Keep it different. It's all good.
Yeah. Keeps you on your toes when you get a bit more active on things. But if you want to keep up to date with everything we're doing, make sure you find us. Our details are in the description of this episode, be it whether you're watching or listening or whatever else you're doing. Find us, follow us, keep up to date, get involved in all the polling for those monthly specials that we do. We do ask a lot of the audience when it comes to those ones. And if you'd be so kind, if you want to help us out to do more of this stuff, then please check out our Patreon page. Every little bit counts. Any help you can give us there is greatly appreciated. A big thank you again to our sponsors in Squitting, Screen Printing, Old Colton Rockstar Finance. Thank you so much for your support, and please check them out. Their details, as well as ours, and our Patreon page are in the description of this episode. But I think that's about it. I think we've now got to go to our other favourite part of the week. And that is time for the bin. So hopefully everyone's prepared. I'm going to throw you in the deep end. Dave, what do you got for us for the bin this week?
Okay. Social media influencers and critics trying to campaign against show producers and writers to change the story or the characters to suit their own individual personal out views on the world.
I know what this is.
Yeah, it's Cobra Kai, obviously. Yeah, they're trying to change the diversity within the cast, which I think is pretty diverse as it is, to the point that they want a transgender person on the show. And if you've seen the show, that's the last thing you want Johnny talking to.
Yeah.
Don't like that was completely unintentional. Okay, don't like out me for saying things. Jesus.
Johnny would not go well with that one.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. If they brought a transgender person into that show, Johnny's going to stay the same character. You're just asking to be insulted, and it's going to happen. So we live in a diverse community in society in the real world, but not every individual group represents every little minority. So not every show has to reflect that.
The funny thing about Cobra Kai, just on that, is that the overall story arc is actually remarkably positive.
Yeah.
Like the morals it's teaching you about are actually pretty good. So I don't, it's a bit of a swing and a miss for mine on that one. But
you get all these outside influences and you're just going to wreck the original show. I mean, when Star Wars, the new ones came out, by the time chapter 8, I haven't seen any of them. Then you had people trying to remove it from canon saying they weren't satisfied. I don't know why, but you're a fan, you like a show, you don't like a show, don't start a petition to have it remade like Game of Thrones final season. It is what it is. It's just a show. It's entertainment. It's a bit of escapism. It takes you away from your daily life. You can love the characters and whatever, but in the end, it's just a show. Get over it.
All right, cool. Tim, follow that up.
There's an entire story to be told about the final Game of Thrones season.
There is, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's very telling that we all went through lockdown and didn't rewatch it once.
Yeah.
But so my bit is a group that I'm sure is trolling me.
Okay.
And that is the social media editor at Heavy Magazine.
Oh, God, yes. Okay. The one about putting up the photo with the incorrect band members and stuff?
Oh, my God. Happy birthday to Richard Faulkner from Judas Priest. They put up a picture of Judas Priest in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's like they've done one today where they've put up a post about Slipknot and then they put a picture up with Chris Fenn in the band and just crossed him out.
Right.
And I'm sure they're just trolling, but dude, it doesn't look good.
There's a way to do it and a way not.
Really, yeah. Like if the joke is landing, cool. But if it's missing, it's missing. Yeah. So
these interactions, but it's not to do it at the expense of your reputation. There's new owners of Heavy Magazine.
I don't think it's boosting interactions.
No,
judging by the interaction. Anyways, enough about that. But I mean, it's a shame because I think they've got a cool platform and hopefully they can do better. But because the more the merrier.
Exactly.
The more they do better, the better. It helps out everyone. So
not tearing anyone down. That's why you want others to do well.
Exactly. So yeah. So the other day they put up a thing of anniversary of Kitty releasing Brackish, and it's like if you type in Kitty into Google Images, you'll get a picture from that era.
Yeah, pretty cool.
But then they found some picture from like 2010 or something like that. And it's like, now you're just trying.
Yeah,
you're trying to go out of your way to be wrong. So don't do that, guys.
No, it's not good because it's the same. Because what happens is we all know our shit at the end of the day. We all see it. No one's thinking about a joke. They just want it to be right. It's about knowing your audience one time. And the flip side too is that like we had the reviewers and that writing about how Cliff Burton was in AC/DC.
Cliff Burton in AC/DC.
Yeah, it's like it's not a good look for us all when people are getting it wrong, especially those with the bigger platform too.
And Dave Ellich playing drum, Dave Ellich being kicked out of Kill or Be Killed.
Yeah, that's right.
They were, or not being mentioned, I should say.
Yeah. Get it right. It does us all a favor if you just get it right and don't try to be so edgy or just be misinformed. If it's a mistake, that's a fucking problem. But anyway, we'll see what happens over the next little bit. For mine, it's pretty straightforward. The general social media landscape where everyone at the moment is sort of piling into each other about being on which side of the, one side or the other on a particular thing. And the loss of actual discourse, I think, is the part that I'll put in the bin the most. The inability for people to, even if you use strong wording in that's not the problem. The problem is that people get so worked up they can't just even for a second take in, just allow the opposite point of view just to touch your skin a little bit. And then if you don't like it, you can still reject it, but at least give it some breath, not just flat out right, bang, no, you're wrong because I'm right. And it's like, life isn't that black and white. So, and when it's so divisive, especially in more independent circles, when people could do a bit better to work together a bit more, that's the thing I'd like to see more instead of just, the outright division. I'm not caring about, having different points of view, but at least engage diplomatically and reasonably with each other versus just, I don't know. There's been some pretty interesting stuff going on in the online world over, and it's not just one item that we all know about. There's been a few little bits and pieces over the last little bit. And
as we're filming this, there's an inauguration tomorrow, so buckle up.
It's going on. I'm getting in early.
Brace for impact.
Give it what?
Brace for impact.
Yeah, 8 hours, I think it is. 6 hours.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be up nice and early and I'll be monitoring my Twitter feed nice and closely. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting watching. Let's just hope the America doesn't eat itself between now and then.
You never know. Worse things could happen.
I know. Anything could happen. I've seen it happen already this year. We're only a few weeks into 2021. It's been a very, very interesting year as it is. But yeah, we'll see what happens. all assuming the brace position right about now is what I think we need to be doing. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully there is still a world for us to film on Saturday when we sit together and do the next one. We'll see if it's not going to matter. This might be our farewell, so adios. But if not, then hopefully we're all here. We'll see you again very, very soon. But yeah, thanks for taking the time out to do this one with me tonight, guys. It's been fun, and it's good to get back into the swing of things. And we'll do some more on the weekend and just keep doing them twice a week here on it. Cool.
Yeah.
But thank you all out there for tuning into our shenanigans yet again. We're back into it with 2021. There's a lot to get through this year. I can tell there's going to be a lot of awesome music coming out. 2020 was rather quiet, so get ready for a shitload of stuff to get through this year. So hopefully you'll stick with us, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Until then, though, I'm Andrew.
I'm Stone Cold Sober Dave.
I'm Tim.
Until next time.
Drink up. Yeah.
Rock on. Like, fuck me, this thing won't shut
up. There's a blooper. What were you listening to?
Just some piano.
Not sure if it was like a bit of, segue scene from Friends or Seinfeld or something, or if it was a...
No, just good piano.
You're a piano man, Tim.
Of course, man.
Will you sing us a song?
No.
Speak.